What you're about to experience are my opinions and truths. I'm suggesting they're possibilities for you to consider, in which you can then come up with your own logical conclusions.
I've heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
And hello everyone, welcome once again. My name is Logan. This is Decode Your Reality. Today I'm doing one on the word hallelujah. This would be hallelujah decoded. The word that so many people say around the world, in many churches, religions. It's a common thing to say when a miracle happens. Many times people express using this word, and what does it really mean? You know, I got a picture of people at a church, don't know where it's at, but you know, they're raising their hands, hallelujah. It happens a lot in churches, a lot of religions. What does this mean? You know, I always say everything you say is a magic spell. That's why they say, how do you spell your name? What's the spelling of your name? We all speak spells, ladies and gentlemen. That means whether you sing them or speak them, you're giving energy and you're attracting things into your life. What does this mean when you say it? So let's get started on this. My methods for decoding: I use numerology, breaking down the spoken word into numbers. Notice that I primarily use the Chaldean, which uses the numbers 1 through 8. You'll notice that the letters of the alphabet sit under specific numbers. And there's a very good reason why they sit under these specific numbers, because this cipher uses phonetics, which is the letters are tied to the same kind of vibration, which is why this is so accurate, in my opinion. So what we do is we go to this website here. It's called gematrinator.com, Derek's website. You type in any word, any form of words, any combination of words, and you'll get an outcome. There's your cipher here, giving you what letters are tied to what numbers, and then you'll get an outcome, a total outcome right there. Hallelujah is 33 in this Chaldean cipher. And you have the English ordinal. If you're new to this, this is the easy one to start with. Each number matches up with each letter. 26 numbers of the alphabet, A through Z. This one's a little more complicated. But nonetheless, you'll get an outcome for these words. That's what we begin with: numerology, the science of numbers. And the methodology that I've come up with is taking the outcomes of these numbers and then tying them into the periodic table. For instance, hallelujah is a 5133536115. So then you'd be able to go into the periodic table and tie it to boron and lithium and whatever the numbers are. These are the protons that these elements have. And this is how you measure the spells that we speak, through these words that we end up speaking. And then of course, you know, I do tie some of the tarot into this, which is getting a visual. These cards are numbered, which means they can tie into the numbers that we speak. The spells that we speak, we need to get a picture of things. That's why the tarot is so valuable. And then of course, common sense is something that's necessary. So this is my methodology here. Primarily, of course, I use pi as well, some other things, the animal tarot, but primarily today I'll be doing Chaldean numerology and science to break this down. So here we go. Hallelujah, 33. Now it's interesting with the number 33 because Supposedly, Jesus was crucified at the age of 33. We have 33 vertebrae in our backs, which of course leads to the crucifixion when we go through Golgotha into the brain and into the pineal gland. So it all ties into the human anatomy, but it also ties into the esoteric, which ties into the numbers. And we have descriptions of that with the spoken word. So that's how this works, ladies and gentlemen. You'll notice again, here I have hallelujah, and then I have the numbers broken down using the alchemical elements. Now we're getting into what's called alchemy. Alchemy is the blending of energies. The typical terminology for alchemy is turning lead into gold, which is actually what's going on in our matrix reality. We are being turned from lead into gold. Lead is heavy, gold is bright and lustrous and shiny. There's a lot of esoteric aspects to that, but that's exactly what this whole thing means. Hallelujah. You see the people with their hands up. I got the picture of Jesus. I got the yin and yang symbol here, because hallelujah through alchemy ends up becoming 69.099, and 69 are the two numbers that make up the yin and the yang. Now you're getting into Chinese philosophy and the Vedic systems. All these tie together, ladies and gentlemen. They're one of the same. You just got to know how to tie them together. 69 is on the masculine side, 099 is on the feminine side. The 99 means the heart chakra, going through the heart. 0 is pi, which means it has infinite potential, unlimited. So that's what hallelujah means. Of course, it's tied to the figure Jesus, which Jesus is Jupiter. Jupiter runs the heart chakra. Do you see why these numbers are so significant right now? It's a very balanced black and white dualistic aspect going through the heart chakra, turning lead into gold, hallelujah, and going up to 33 vertebrae, 33 steps in Freemasonry. It's all tied together. There is nothing that's separate from this. Hallelujah, when you break it down even further, 69.099 was the outcome we got through alchemy. Then we can go a step further and find the 69th element, which is thulium, and the 99th element, which is einsteinium. And I have this spelled wrong, my error there, but 99 is einsteinium. So then when we take these through numerology, thulium and einsteinium, we get yet again another yin and yang. So this tells me loud and clear it's extremely powerful. This is a very powerful word. That's why people are always drawn to it. That's why they'll claim they've done miracles with it. It holds a lot of power. So let's go even further. These two are the elements that are tied to hallelujah, broken down. 69.099. Well, let's add these up and go through alchemy with thulium and einsteinium. We end up going to our trusty calculator, and these two elements end up being 421.017. And then when we go a step further with numerology, because that's what we just said 421.017. So that's the spell that we speak, ladies and gentlemen. 421.017. Notice it's a 22-letter word, by the way. 22 means change. It also is linked to alchemy, which is what we're doing right here, which is kind of transmutation, transformation. But notice the outcome through numerology of what 421017 is. It's the 119, which is the mirror of the 911. What's interesting about the 119, ladies and gentlemen, is when we bring pi into this. 3.1415, and it's never ending. Those digits, those infinite amount of digits, will tell you where numbers set past the 3 point. And 119 appears at the 47th decimal digit. 47 appears at the 119th decimal digit of pi. 47 does. So if we go 119 digits in past the 3 point, it ends up being where 47 appears. Why is 47 important? Because it's linked to the word tetragrammaton, which is the ancient 4-letter word name of the Israelite god, the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh, YHVH. More New Age, it would be Yahweh, and the newest name pronunciation would be Jehovah. It's all the same thing. There is no difference between those names and titles. It's just packaged differently. Someone didn't like the way it was named. Someone thought it would be better to name it something else. You know, it's interesting because the letter Y is the 10th letter in the Hebrew alphabet, and the 10th letter in the English alphabet is the letter J. So Y and J are interchangeable, which is why Yahweh became Jehovah. Same energy, same deity, same God. Does not matter. And if you notice here, I have Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, and then, of course, the White House is located in Washington, D.C. Both of those equal the number 47. Now, who named these a long time ago? Who decided they would call it this? I don't know. I wasn't there. But it's either they sat down with numerology and they figured out it had to be 47 to match that of the Tetragrammaton, or the Tetragrammaton is behind the scenes pulling the strings, designing it through man. Just like everybody says the Bible's divinely inspired, well, our entire matrix is designed by this energy right here. There's no other explanation for it. It's too complicated. Moving along, hallelujah. You notice in the background, I have the dollar bill with the all-seeing eye. Now, where does that come from? People automatically assume Freemasonry, and who do you think they worship? Who do you think their God is? I'll give you a hint. It starts with a 47. Hallelujah is the 33 as we started with. 69.099 was the total we got through alchemy. Then we want to break this down as well through numerology, how we speak it. 69099. Here it is right here. 69099. Now notice 69 is on the masculine side, 099 is on the feminine side, as I mentioned. 69 equals 25 and 099 equals 53. Those two elements, again, getting into alchemy through numerology. The 25th element is manganese. The 53rd element is iodine. And this is an important one because this is directly tied to the Yod through the Aramaic language. It's also tied in the Greek. It's iota. It goes by many different, names and terminologies. It's just been changed and altered. But this is important, and I have pyramids here for the main reason why you have the all-seeing eye on the back of the dollar bill. Manganese and iodine, through numerology, ladies and gentlemen, end up being the number 55. This is a master number, by the way. It ends up being a number 10 if you want to reduce it down. I find that numbers like to remain the way they express themselves. You can, of course, say that it's giving all its energy to the 10, which would ultimately lead to the number 1, which is true. But the 55 is the big standout. And this is very important because 55 is the 10th Fibonacci number, and it's also the 10th triangular number, if I'm just not mistaken, which is right there. So you'll notice, you have 1 sphere, 2, 3, 4, but those add up to the number 10. And then, of course, you have Pascal's triangle, which has these rows here, but it goes 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it makes that triangle. It's 55 spheres in there. 55 is a very important number, and that's what we're going to be getting into with this presentation beyond the 33. The 33 is the 55. And what's interesting, if you add up 33 and 55, you get the number 88. And 88 is Chronos, Father Time, the Yod, the 5th, Saturn, 88 miles an hour to time travel, Father Time. Let's keep going. Getting into the 55 now, ladies and gentlemen. That's where Hallelujah leads us to. So when we speak hallelujah, it ends up leading to the 55. Here's the Fibonacci sequence. If you don't know what that is, I'd suggest brushing up on your science or your numbers or your math. But This is just in accordance with how the patterns of nature. 1 becomes 1, 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 plus 5 is 13, and so on. I have the first, and I say 11 digits here because I always count the 0, which is kind of a catch-22, but nonetheless, if you just take these numbers here, here's the first 10 Fibonacci sequence numbers. And when you add those up using the trusty calculator, it adds up to 143. This is really important because the element neodymium has an atomic weight of 143. That's the 60th element. This is really, really important. We're going to get back to that in a minute. Now, what I found through my research, ladies and gentlemen, is not just adding up these numbers, but always people want to leave out the 0. Well, the 0 is pi. It's infinite potential. So you can multiply your total outcome, which is what you have here, and then you multiply by 3.14, which is pi, right there. And you get the outcome 260.7. So we're gonna show you this as well in a minute. But I'm gonna focus on this right now. So we have 2 outcomes doing it 2 different ways. Now I want to digress here and point out is that we speak spells. I've been saying this in the beginning of this presentation. Right now I'm speaking spells to you. You can either reject them or accept them. But we are speaking spells through the spoken word, which is kind of where the Tower of Babel comes into play if you're a Bible thumper. If you fancy the Bible, you know the Tower of Babel. It's all about spell speaking and confusing the people. That story goes way deep. But nonetheless, 55 is we speak spells. 5 in astrology, the house of astrology, the 5th house is all about manifestations. It's where government, politics, and religion, money, power, everything is on the 5th house, the 5th level. Why? Because the 5th chakra in the Vedic system, ladies and gentlemen, is the throat chakra. That's where we speak our spells. If I don't have my throat chakra, I ain't speaking. I'm not going to be doing much manifesting. That's why it's really, really important. That's why it's all about spell speaking. That's why they say, how do you spell your name? What's the spelling of your name? It's all 5. And the 5th, the number 5, esoterically, is the planet Saturn. It's the planet Saturn. That's why I have it blue chakra, throat chakra. Anyway, neodymium is the highlight of this. When you add up these Fibonacci numbers up to the number 55, which was started with hallelujah, 143, it's 143 with neodymium. Extremely important because the Great Pyramid of Giza, what was it there for? What was it built? It's got a capstone right there. I mean, it's degrading now, but what is this thing used for? What was it for? There's 3 of them there. There's more than that, but I mean, the main 3 ones, a lot of people say they line up with the Orion's belt. That may be true, but what is it here doing on Earth? What is its purpose? So many conflicting stories. But when we use math, ladies and gentlemen, here are the coordinates, the latitude, longitude of the Great Pyramid of Giza. 29 degrees north, 31 degrees east. That equals the number 60. This right here, this element is used to make magnets. Magnetic. And our world, our matrix, is designed around dielectricity and magnetism and torus fields, and we get into, quantum physics and physics, but nonetheless, neodymium is all about magnets. And it's, partly maybe one of the reasons why Neo was named that in the Matrix. That's for another story. Go check out my John Wick Decoded. You'll know exactly why. Keanu Charles Reeves, his name through alchemy equals 143. That's why they named him Neo. It's quite fascinating, which, do these people have Hollywood sitting down doing numerology on people and then they're picking their people and naming it? I don't know, but I do know that it's a complex system, and I think that the Yod, the Tetragrammaton, has its hands in everything. Every single thing in our world. So then you have to ask yourself, how much free will do we have? It's kind of an interesting and fascinating aspect, but this thing's magnetic. This thing is magnetic. You can go into the slope and the 51 degrees. There's all significance to this pyramid right here. Really, really amazing. So then we get into the 143, ladies and gentlemen. The masculine side's where it's at, because the masculine side is it's the king on the chessboard. So he runs the show. He calls the shots with the queen, but the queen's the emotional side. The king is the Mars energy, the Billy Goat's gruff. So it's important to measure this. So 143 or 143 equals the number 61, which of course is the mirror of the 16, which matches the alleged 6 days of creation, days 1 to 6. This is really important right here. And I'm going to show you why. Because the word Jehovah, I told you, the Yah turned into the Jah. That's where Jah comes into, and Rastafarian and all that stuff. It's all the same thing. But Jehovah is the New Age name of the ancient Israelite God, the Tetragrammaton, which runs the entire matrix. And this thing, of course, Jehovah is 69, which is the yin and yang in the English ordinal system. But through the Chaldean, it's the number 30. That's tied to the element zinc. Notice the double 7 there. These are all symbols. Z has 2 7s stuck together. Double 7, 77, master 7. Of course, the old story of the Sabbath day, and then you have a master number 77. But the zinc is got an atomic weight of 63, and then the YHVH in the English ordinal equals the number 63. You see how all this is tied together? It's all tied together. It tells us a story. And then, of course, Jehovah through alchemy ends up going over here. Our trusty calculator ends up being a number 61 on the masculine side, which I showed you. 143, which is tied to neodymium, which is all about the Fibonacci, which is tied to hallelujah, ends up linking up with neodymium. And these elements and these words and these things that we express, they kind of they encroach upon other numbers. So you can, it'll bleed over. So what I mean by it is neodymium bleeds over to promethium. 60, as you notice, because it's 60, but it's really 61, neodymium, 143. So realistically, what we're looking at here, Jehovah becomes a 61.046. These are important numbers again, because promethium, the element 61, ends up becoming through numerology the number 46, which matches that of the feminine side of the word Jehovah. And then that, of course, this is the dualistic personality of the word Jehovah, the energy Jehovah, the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh. It's both Jesus and Lucifer. That's the black and the white, the black and the white on the chessboard. 64 squares on a chessboard is the mirror of the 46. See how all that's tied together? And that's where the 144,000 came into play, because the element promethium has an atomic weight of 144. So if you fancy the Bible and you talk about the 144,000, this is exactly what it means. It's exactly what it means. And then, of course, it's the 61st element, tying that to 61. That's Jehovah's outcome on the masculine side of alchemy. Well, 6-1 through numerology is 26, and the 26th element is iron, and that has an atomic weight of 55, which goes right back to this 55. So it's clear. I know it's complex a little bit. Maybe you're watching this for the first time, but ladies and gentlemen, we're just taking numerology and we're using alchemy and we're bringing the elements of the periodic table and we're defining this matrix reality, who this energy is that people call God. Promethium, if you study the Greek mythology of Promethium, it's the god that stole it's the energy that stole the fire from the gods and gave it to the humans. That's the story behind that. I don't know how true it is, but that's the story behind Promethium. Of course, there's been movies done on Promethium. Why do you think Hollywood's done movies on Promethium? But you can't leave this stuff out. 6-1 is 26. The word God equals 26 in the English ordinal. But you can't leave this stuff out. And the Romans were about the Iron Age. And that's where the 55 comes into play. You can't leave these things out. These are extremely important. 10th Fibonacci number, 55. So then we're going to measure it from a different perspective. I told you that you can multiply your total with pi and get a different outcome, which is what we've done here. So besides the 134, which is right here, or the 143, we get a 260.7. And then we go ahead and we spell that out. 260.7. Notice that the 260 equals the number 47, which is tied to the Tetragrammaton, which is Yahweh, which is right there. That's the ancient name. And of course, it's all based in Judaism. So it's really interesting because the Old Testament was written by the Jewish faith. The New Testament was written by the Greeks. Yet if you believe in the Bible, then you must believe in both books, both Testaments. And which one comes first? Well, history tells us the Jewish Old Testament came first, which means their God is the Yahweh, it's the Yod. Well, who do you think the God of the Bible, the New Testament, is? Do you think it could be a separate entity or energy? That's a possibility. But what do you see? What do you think? I think it's one of the same. I think it's the same exact energy. Of course, Jesus was about love. The Old Testament was about fear and killing and violence. He came to do away with that. That's because it's the dualistic nature. Folks, we only have two emotions in our life. We have love and fear. That's it. Fear is the old, new is love. But it's both in this dualistic nature. And that's what this energy is all about. It's controlling the black and the white, the Jesus and the Lucifer. That's what it's all about. And it's got its hands in everything in our matrix reality. All this stuff. Let's keep going. I played a song in the very beginning of this video I played the song Hallelujah by Pentatonix. That's the band it's the 5-piece band. And of course, it's a 5-piece band, 5 people. But this was kind of the icing on the cake, showing me that you have the Tetragrammaton, the ancient Israelite God, the God of the Bible, that has its hands in everything, including music. Now, what I like to do is I like to take songs that just pop into my head randomly, just out of nowhere. I don't even know how I even got started on decoding Hallelujah. It just somehow popped up to me, and I just decided to go with it, and here I am, 13 slides in. But nonetheless, this group remade this song. This song was originally done by Leonard Cohen, who was Jewish, by the way. And I want to just digress and say, I love everybody. I love all races. I'm very neutral. I don't really, this is not about trying to point anything out or be anti-Semitic or anything. That word is so stupid. It's such an ignorant word. I'm looking for origins, ladies and gentlemen. I want to know the truth. I want to know how this matrix works. Don't you? Do you want to just listen to what somebody told you, or do you want the real skinny on how things work? I want the real deal. I want the origins, because then I know what I need to do to create my strategy in this matrix reality and have the best experience. And I'm sure you would agree on that. But nonetheless, anyway, Pentatonix remade this song. You heard it in the very beginning. It's a very beautiful song. Gets your hair standing up. And here's the entire lyrics broken down through numerology. Now, I have the two biggest ciphers on the stage, again, Chaldean and English Ordinal. These are the two primary ones I use, besides getting into Hebrew and Greek. But then, of course, we're getting into a different language. But look at the outcome of this, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, through Chaldean, it becomes 4606. All these letters end up equaling and breaking down to 4606. And 4606, there it is. It's beryllium, carbon, pi, and carbon. Pi we can count, but if we just add up without pi, we get the number 33. Matter of fact, we get a triple 3 if we want to reduce down, because 1 plus 2 would be 3. But the masculine side is where it's at. It runs the mojo. It runs our ego. So it dictates a lot of where the energy is going to go. And 33 matches that up with the words Hallelujah, which is what this song's all about. How is that possible? Through this numerology system and alchemy. It's because the Tetragrammaton has its hands in music and movies and TV shows and acting and religion and politics. It's in every single thing in our matrix reality. It's in everything. Everything. And when people say, "Oh no, the devil's the one that ruled this world," well, I beg to differ. That's just a scapegoat. It's the Tetragrammaton that runs everything. So if you want to say the Tetragrammaton's the devil, well, that's your choice. That's your choice. It's one of the same. I put an arrow here because it says, well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift. The fourth and fifth. I don't know what this Leonard Cohen meant by that, but I do know that the fourth and fifth chakras is Jupiter and Saturn. This is where our heart chakra is. This is where we speak our spells. So we speak what we're in love with. That's what this means. We speak what we're in love with. And what does hallelujah mean? Miracles. Thank you, God. Right there. This is your throat chakra. This is the throat chakra of the Tetragrammaton. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, the 7 chakra points, which there may be more, but we know going by the light spectrum and the rainbow, this right there is the Tetragrammaton's chakra points. And of course, the planets line up with that. All the planets are part of the Tetragrammaton's chakra points. We're the minor, it's the major. Macrocosm, microcosm. Let's keep going though, because I have more to go. I have a few more to go. Thank you for sticking with me. How about if we decode it using the English ordinal? Let's put the icing on the cake. Just so, we put any naysayers out there, we put them out of commission. 33 is what Chaldean equals. Well, if we break it down through the English ordinal, 13499, 13499, right there through alchemy, go over to our trusty calculator, it ends up being the number 55. And I just showed you how important the 55 is. It's tied to hallelujah. It's directly tied to it. So you have to ask yourself, like I'm showing you all these things, what are the odds of these things linking up like that? Like does this system, this methodology that I've created, do you think it works? I've shown over and over. If this is the first time you're watching any of my videos, I'd suggest going to watch my channel and catching up on some things, because I support this in so many different topics and areas in our matrix reality. Defining this and showing these patterns over and over and over and over. Everything's coming up the same. So we're defining and we're showing some patterns. Now look at this. This goes even further. I have 3 slides left. Pentatonics is the group that rewrote the song by Leonard Cohen, Hallelujah. Well, in total, numerology-wise, it's a 45. That's rhodium. We could define that, but this was the bigger standout. I decided to break it down through alchemy. Pentatonics, this is the name they chose. But did they choose this name, or did the Tetragrammaton choose it for them? Notice there's the alchemy of pentatonics. It's a 10-letter word. The 10th letter in the Hebrew language is the yod. There's significance right there. That's the binary number. But when we go over to the trusty calculator and we add up all the elements through alchemy, we get 94 on the masculine, 0.074 on the feminine side. And when we break that down using numerology, we speak the spell saying 94074, that becomes a 107 or 107. And that's huge, ladies and gentlemen, because the element silver is 107. And what is 47? 47 is the Tetragrammaton right there. 47 is the Tetragrammaton. Remember, Washington, D.C. equals 47, White House equals 47, Georgetown University equals 47, the name 47 equals 47. So look at these tie-ins here. And of course, you have the mirror of the 47, there's the 74. 74 plus 47 is 121. 121 is the all-seeing eye of Horus. It's all tied together, ladies and gentlemen. There is nothing separate. Look at this guy, Leonard Cohen. He was raised in a Jewish family, practiced it his entire life. Okay? Look at this guy. This is what he went by professionally. Leonard Cohen. Break his name down through alchemy. Right there's all his letters, 12 letters. Go over to the trusty calculator, add all that up. Look at the outcome of what this guy gets. A 111. This is massive here. Massive, massive, massive. Not only that, but on the feminine side, he's got 106, and silver has an atomic weight of 106. This is its most predominant. But it has an atomic weight of 106. So he's got a 111, a 111, which these are electricity. These are rods of electricity. And he's got the Tetragrammaton in the feminine side. But let's move forward, because where does 111 come into play? Well, that's rhodogenium. And rhodogenium, through numerology, equals the number 47, which is silver, which is the Tetragrammaton. The 4-letter word of the ancient God of Israel. Israel. Why do you think Washington, D.C. is in bed with Israel? You have to start asking yourself these questions, ladies and gentlemen. You owe it to yourself. Who also shares the 111? How about this fine singer right here, Lady Gaga? I didn't even have to break her name down in alchemy. This is her birth name. I don't know if you knew that. Stefani Joanne Angelina Germanotta. No, I didn't even pronounce that right. Germanotta, something like that. But her full name in numerology equals the number 111. So, I look at these things. She was born on March 28th. I mean, there's so many things I could break down, and I may decode Lady Gaga, but ladies and gentlemen, it's like, is she a prodigy of the Tetragrammaton? Did he choose this person? And then you have to ask yourself, well, maybe there is such a thing as reincarnation. Maybe she deserved to come down, and she earned this position in the Matrix to become this famous singer. And she's got the numbers to back it up. This guy right here was famous. Famous singer, man, had a lot of hits. Made it really well in the singing world. Did he deserve it? Is this what we're looking at? Is that where reincarnation comes into play? I know numbers speak truth. I mean, look at what it's tied to. It's undeniable when you start to connect these and see what these elements are and the numbers, and then you link them to what is running this matrix reality. And 4 and 7, man, that's the heart chakra and the crown chakra. Purple and green, that's its colors. Heart chakra and the crown chakra. And of course, Neptune is the 7th planet. Some say it's the 8th. I say it's the 7th. 7 and 4. Neptune runs our spirituality. It's the planet of spirituality. Wherever that's placed in your astrology chart, that's going to tell you a lot about who you are and how you think of spirituality. And of course, 4 is the heart chakra. That's Jupiter, the benefactor. So it's the benefactor of spirituality. That's what this number means. But I mean, how clear is it, ladies and gentlemen? Lady Gaga equals 111. Tying that to Leonard Cohen, who originally wrote the song Hallelujah. His name through alchemy equals 111, which is tied to the Tetragrammaton. It's tied to the Tetragrammaton, ladies and gentlemen. This group, that's what they sing. They sing Christian songs. I mean, who named them this band? Who came up with the name? And look at the lyrics. It's undeniable. It's undeniable. These patterns. So, when you speak your spells, when you sing your songs, what are you singing about? Who are you giving praise to? I mean, what do you see, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, it's clear as day to me what's defining this matrix reality. And are you okay with that? Our matrix reality is run on predator-prey. I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay. That's why I don't eat animals. I don't do it because I wouldn't want an animal to eat me, but I think it keeps people stuck. But I'm not okay with this matrix reality. But what do you see? I mean, how can you be okay with it when the Tetragrammaton has its hands in all the government and religion? It's all the same thing. Now what do you think of it? It's in mathematics. It's in everything. It's a brilliant design, this software, this matrix. Brilliant. But it all comes down to the Tetragrammaton, which is what's running this matrix reality. And when you say hallelujah, you're paying tribute to the Tetragrammaton. Nonetheless, so you can argue it all you want, but numbers speak truth. So that's all I got for today. My name is Logan. Thanks for watching. Until next time.